Welcome to Paddling Adventures Radio. I'm Sean Rowley, and with me is Derek Spesh.
Hello.
How's it going, Derek?
Going fantastic.
Fantastic. Just groovy. Oh, what a wonderful week it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot done on the weekend.
Did you?
Not everything that I wanted to, but it was a better work weekend than it was the previous weekend. There wasn't as much swearing this weekend.
Remember I told you about the birds at work?
Mm-hmm.
What a bumper crop of cormorants we have now.
Even more?
I stood under the trees away from the tower, and I looked up into the hydro tower, and easily 60 plus nests.
Are you allowed to hunt them? And sell them?
They are in a
Are they edible?
So me and one of the guys at work, we looked it up. I said, "Can you eat them?" So he looked it up, and the guy who wrote the article on the internet, it sounded so legitimate. He was talking about this, that, the other thing, and then it slowly got weird. And then he says, "Yes," and then you light them on fire with gasoline, bury them underground for 4 days, and then to tenderize them. It's like, oh no, this isn't legit.
It's too much work now.
But apparently, from what people are saying, it's a very bad tasting meat.
Oh.
It's tough and chewy.
So basically, if you were having a party where people were coming that you didn't want to come,
you
serve it to them, and they never come again.
Yeah. So I was thinking of, we do safety meetings at work, and it's like, okay, everybody, the next safety meeting, we want everybody to come in with a cormorant recipe. But yeah, we're very limited in what we can do we can scare them away. And theory being, you scare them from this building to that building, and you move them around. They're moving too much; they can't nest, and so you're just preventing them.
Big net.
We're not allowed to bring harm to them.
Yeah, but if you just put a net over top of them, you're not harming them.
Yes, there's the bird mitigation people who we've hired. They have a couple hawks. And they said, "No, I can't do the hawks." Apparently, the cormorants are so aggressive that they were attacking the hawks.
What about ostriches? I know they don't fly, but the rest of the cormorants would probably look down going, "Okay, now they're getting weird. I'm out."
Yeah, I don't know. I did see a video today of a woman threw something at an ostrich, and the ostrich just ran at her, knocked her over, and started stomping on her.
Oh, you don't want to fight an ostrich.
No.
Ostriches, no. Kangaroos, and platypuses.
Yeah.
They have that venom claw.
Yeah, the venom claw is it on the hind legs. It is. Yeah, I think
it's on the hind leg. But they'll scratch you with that venom claw, and it's not.
Platypuses are so weird.
I would love to have one.
So weird. Like, how does that?
If I could have two pets, two exotic animals, I'd go steal me a platypus and a penguin. You'd never see me again.
I think emus would be fun. They can be very
ostrich
aggressive.
riding.
I don't know. Can you ride them? I've heard of it, but
I've seen it.
I worry about it damaging the poor bird.
Yeah, but I mean they're massive.
That's true.
Yeah, just jump on that ostrich and away you go.
Yeah.
It's the kangaroo that would be the tough one. Like you'd have to jump on his back and be like a rodeo. Hang on for like 20 seconds. They say a kangaroo
can disembowel you.
Yep. Well, they use their tail as a third leg.
Yeah.
And then they jump up using that as balance, and they'll rake your stomach out with their back claws.
Boy, did we get off topic.
Right? But wait till later on. There's more things. We talk about goats and snakes. And
But yeah, the cormorants, like we've lost a lot of parking because we usually park under the tower.
There's one guy that works there now. 10,000 employed. One guy works because he's the only one. Whoever gets there first gets the parking spot.
Yeah, no, it's all barriered off. Can't park there because it's a biohazard and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to be careful when you're walking in the area because you just hear splats on the ground area. The hydro tower is painted white. The trees underneath it are painted white.
So you just go stand there with an umbrella, like one of those big umbrellas.
It's very disconcerting when you hear their poop is big. Like, 'cause you can hear a splat. It's like, oh, that was close.
And if there's anything else you want to know about cormorants, let us know.
Anyway. So, episode 487.
All about cormorants and their disgusting habits.
Yes.
And other animals that'd be fun to steal or ride. I've never had the urge to ride a camel or a llama.
I've ridden a camel.
I've ridden an elephant at the zoo.
I was on a camel at the Toronto Zoo.
Yeah, no, I never did a camera, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Took pictures of the camel's feet and then sent pictures to people. Look at
Derek's OnlyFans page is camel's feet, animal feet. Anyway,
yes.
I found this one topic because, you know, we're just going to keep harping on the fact that you say you're old. You're never too old to paddle. Amid busy regatta preparations on the River Wear in Durham, over in England there, a group of senior paddlers took to the water to prove age does not rule out adventure. Pay attention, Derek. While student scullers were getting in last-minute practice before the city's annual festival of rowing over the weekend, they were joined by an older generation who tackled the river in canoes and paddleboards. All of those taking part are clients of Age UK, County Durham. Many of them trying water sports for the first time. Under some guidance of Adventure Access CIC, 30 participants, each aged 50 plus. 50 doesn't sound old.
No, it doesn't.
Like, when I start thinking of an old person, I'm like looking up at like 80.
Or 56.
Unless, of course, you're listening to the show when you're 80, then I'm thinking higher. Excitedly and in some cases nervously set out in their various craft on the river. The combined age of those involved exceeded 1,900 years.
When I saw that, I was just like, what? Who does
So
that?
what's 1,900 divided by 30? You got a calculator there?
Well, 30 people. So you mean what their average age is?
So what would be the average age of it? Yeah, 1,900 divided by 30. It's definitely over 50.
Yes. Well, everybody's over 50.
That's what I'm saying. Like, unless somebody lied.
Average age of 63.3 years old.
Wow. Where's Grandpa? Don't know. Age UK County Durham invited them to participate to celebrate Age Without Limits Day, an annual day of campaigning. This year's Age Without Limits Day adopted the theme Celebrate Aging, Challenge Ageism. Robin Holmes, Chief Executive of Age UK County Durham, said, "Everyone here on the River Wear today has challenged ageism and challenged themselves. They've enjoyed themselves and enjoyed the company. It's wonderful to watch people paddleboard for the first time in their 60s and 70s. Oldest participant today is 78. Could you imagine getting out in a canoe or a paddleboard at 78 years of age for the first time?
When we did it for the first time, which was 5 years ago, remember with Warren?
5 or 6? Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, so I was about
So we're
50.
Yeah.
I had so much trouble keeping balance on that board.
I have that problems the best of days.
Yeah, so can you imagine a 78-year-old
I
man?
gotta sit down to put my socks on.
I do too. I fall over. I have to sit down to put socks on.
I'm twisted on an ankle and I got one leg in my underwear. Yeah, it just, I mean, like I say, it's, mind you, having said that, my grandfather's first backcountry canoe trip was 72.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's always done the lodges and flying and fishing stuff, like to boats, not canoes. Mm-hmm. But he's never done the canoe tripping.
Was he with you for that trip? Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Age Without Limits Day focuses attention on the judgments we make every day about aging. It's an opportunity to consider why we do this. What makes us think growing older devalues a person? Age UK County Durham is making the most of this day to show many strengths, skills, and energy of people over 50, and to ask everyone to consider aging as a positive and constructive stage of our lives. Like I say, it's the majority of people I know don't fit the stereotypical old person that are, between 50, 60, 65. Mm-hmm. They're just not that. When I grew up seeing people, oh, you're 65, you're ancient, you're going to die any day now. But now you're sitting here thinking, well, no, that's not the case.
So
back in the day.
Well, back in the day when the Golden Girls was on TV, all those old ladies, they were all in their mid to early 40s.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, Tracy teaches at the college a critical care nursing course every few weekends. And when they first meet the students the first weekend, the staff say, I've been nursing for 8 years. I've been nursing for 10 years. I've been, this sort of stuff. And then Tracy used to always be last. So I took my first job as a nurse in 1987, and everybody, yeah, I started working back in the 1900s. Time is just an invented construct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's as you get up there, you start to realize it's not that. And I think, however, it's the age thing comes into effect when you don't do anything.
Exactly. If you are active, if you live an active lifestyle, you tend to stay healthy for much longer.
Yeah.
And you often see it where somebody will fall, break a leg, break a hip, whatever, and that's usually
that's it.
Your downturn, because suddenly you're not mobile.
Yeah.
And so if you can stay mobile, stay active, and do stuff like that, then you will live a longer and healthier and happier life.
Just say no to broken hips.
Yes.
Thelma Barnes, 74, from Chester Street, spent an hour canoeing on the Weir. On her return to dry land, she said, I've really enjoyed my morning. It's been fantastic. People who've never been on the water were nervous the first, and then they were soon reassured by the people looking after us that everything was going to be okay. And it was. We saw ducks. We saw birds. We've seen loads and loads of wildlife. I'll be back again. I hope it's done more often because I'll certainly be putting my name on that list. Age without limits is something I think is a brilliant thing to live by. Forget how old you are. If you've got the energy, get up there and do it. And if you haven't got the energy, find it from somewhere. Age UK County Durham is considering the go-to organization for anyone aged 50 or above living in County Durham. It is a standalone registered charitable organization and a brand partner of Age UK. That's pretty cool, though, getting people out there to do this sort of stuff. Because, I mean, how often do you see them? They're like, well, I got nothing to do. I'm
going to go play shuffleboard.
I'm going to go to the mall. Yeah, I'm going to play shuffleboard. I'm going to, maybe do some putter in my garden. That sort of stuff. It's and I see what they're saying about the ageism thing is, like, you stereotypical old person is, this is what you're going to do,
Yeah.
Like, you're going to shuffle around.
But a lot of people look down on old people, like, they've lost their usefulness. The usefulness of parts of their lives is behind them, which is untrue. If you stay fit and healthy and you are active, then you stand to. And I think that's where a lot of people who are just looking for something to get out and do something become like a Walmart greeter or, they just need something to do instead of sitting in front of the TV all day.
Oh, I don't think I could do that. Anyway, Age UK County Durham. I'm sure there's other things around your areas to check out if you're getting older and want to participate in stuff.
Yeah, and I think
a lot of people out there doing it.
A lot of people doing it.
Yep. I've got a book sitting here. The Wood and Canvas Canoe. Complete Guide to its History, Construction, restoration, and maintenance. I'd love to have a...
And who are the authors?
Jerry Stelmach and Roland Thurlow. So for those who love traditional Maine canoes, the ones built the old way from cedar and canvas, the small unincorporated township of Atkinson in Piscataqui County might be the center of the universe. This is where two young men who wanted to build those canoes came to live and work close to 50 years ago. It's where they're still working today, still creating sleek craft that glow in the sun, slide almost silently through the water, as they have for a few hundred years. When you use the boat, it's different than a plastic boat, Roland Thurlow, owner of Northwoods Canoe, says. It has a life of its own. The wood flexes and moves. It moves through the water much different than a plastic boat. And anybody that's ever been in one,
Yes. Yeah.
you can tell there's such a difference in the way that thing handles, the way it moves. It's awesome. The canoes are built of cedar ribs and planks covered by canvas that is then sealed and painted. Thurlow and Jerry Stelmach, owner of Island Falls Canoe, learned to build them decades ago at the Washington County Boat Building School in Lubec. They had met previously, the men say, because their wives were friends in college. After both served in the Navy, they reunited at the boat building school. An instructor taught them how to build the traditional Maine canoes. Thurlow and Stelmach were able to acquire some old canoe building forms that had belonged to the notable E.M. White Company, a highly regarded Maine canoe builder from the early 20th century. With those and lessons from the instructor, they started a business. Got to start somewhere. Their timing turned out to be right. Took a couple of years, they say, to get established, but a new generation was coming of age that wanted something other than aluminum or fiberglass.
Both heavy, both clumpy, both...
Yes. People recognized them for what they were and loved them and had memories of them, and we were there, Jerry recalled. Two men would soon establish separate businesses, both in Atkinson, and orders began to flow in. Stelmach and Thurlow remained close friends and occasionally would step in to help each other when needed. Over those years, a lot of beautiful canoes have come from their shops. It's nice to work in conjunction and not in competition.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
I know in my business, there was 3 main big printing shops back in the day, like more than 60 years ago now. And the 3 owners got together and said, there's plenty for all of us.
Yeah.
And no one tried to undercut the others, and they all made a fortune.
Yeah, cooperate.
It's nice to, work in conjunction, not in competition. Roland Thurlow says he has built or restored about 1,200 of them. Jerry says he has done about 1,000. Both have also welcomed students to spend a week or so building their own canoes under the guidance of the master builders. Both said they still find the finished products just to be absolutely beautiful. Hardest part is sending the customer the bill. Oh, it wouldn't be for me. Thurlow says, I put it off and I put it off because I don't want to let the canoe go. And once you send them the bill, it's like, okay, now they're taking it. I never get tired of looking at them. The latest one may prove harder to part with. After spending 50 years building canoes, the two friends have decided to build one more together to mark 100 total years of experience. Kind of centennial canoe. It's based on a design by Thurlow. Besides elegant gleaming wood and red painted canvas, the top 6 inches or so of the hull will be painted with wildlife scenes by Jerry. He created a similar look for several canoes 25 years ago to mark the millennium.
Cool.
This time, the builder said it just seemed the right moment to celebrate all their years of building canoes, as well as the friendship that has lasted as long as the boats they create. 50 years is a long time to be friends.
50 years is a long time to be building boats.
Right? Could you imagine that's what you do every day? What are you going to do today? I'm going to go downstairs in the garage and build another boat.
Yep.
I don't know. Oh, sorry. But when it's done, what then? Will they take a canoe trip? I don't know, Jerry said. We haven't thought about taking a trip. We might paddle in it, but then it will be sold. It's clear that the project holds real meaning for the men, both now and in their mid-70s, but they're still working at their craft, still teaching students, and still building canoes themselves. They also have a new edition of a book they co-authored, The Wooden Canvas Canoe, which I have the original right there. And Jerry's signature on the inside, I must say, which has a history of Maine canoe makers, as well as a guide on how to build them. Jerry now even builds wooden canvas canoes for Old Town Canoe, which ceased building its own several years ago.
That.
So if you get a brand new Old Town woods canvas canoe from it's going to be from Jerry. The work of those combined 100 years, the work that comes from their shops in this little town, has already stood the test of time. That doesn't seem likely to change. Some paddlers, they believe, will always want them. The wooden canvas boat seems to have the right feel to it in the water, Roland said. We have repaired boats 100 years old.
Oof.
Could you imagine getting in a boat? Yeah, this thing's 100 years old. Can you fix it? What they have built should be on the waters of Maine and in the country for many more years to come. That's pretty cool for 50 years building boats.
I've seen a few restored wood canvas canoes, and they are things to behold. Like, they're just the beauty of them, and to see. I have a wood canvas canoe. It's a Peterborough canoe built in Peterborough, Ontario, in 1952, I believe it was. And I want to finish it, or at least get it finished. And it's pricey. I've talked to a couple repair shops, and it's going to be in the range of like $2,000+ to restore it.
So, it's not cheap. Yeah, I mean, and is that them doing it or you doing it?
Them doing it is over $2,000.
Yeah, and
if I do it myself, I'm sure I'll screw it up.
It looks beautiful, except for that big hole in the side. Is that supposed to be there? Is that where the plug goes? It leaks. Just like my last one, it leaks.
I would love to get it restored. New canvas.
Yeah,
I need new canvas, new sealant, new paint.
Look at those. Look at them on the front cover. Those are beautiful things to behold. A nice prospector. Man. Oh, look at this. They got the wicker baskets and everything in that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That just. Oh, and they got a canoe pole too.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. I think you should go buy the brand new version of this book.
I wish I could afford it.
But it's got like plans in it and everything, right? Like fold out plans at the back.
Is there instructions?
Yeah.
On how to rebuild? I may have to borrow that book.
I'll let you borrow the book for $50. Old Town Canoe, it talks about canoe maintenance. It talks about repair and restoration. Oh, that's a big chapter. That's a really big chapter. Jerry's journal.
Cool.
Jerry's journal is a really big chapter. Shapes and lines. A brief history. Brief history, that's about 30 pages. Birch bark origins. Yeah. This is it, yeah. It's a cool book, dude. Maybe I'll let you borrow it.
I should get my own.
Yeah. Go stick it on your shelf. All the rest of your books. Anyway, so yeah, if you want a really nice wood canvas one, you might want to head on down to Maine.
Yes.
I'd be interested to see what their 100-year canoe looks like. When said and done.
Yeah, so
that'd be a nice one to do.
What color did they say they're going to paint it?
They didn't. They just said they're building one.
Because they're going to paint it up to within a couple inches of the...
they just said... And
then have woodland scenes painted on it.
But they didn't actually say colors. But I'd be interested in seeing what that thing looks like when they're done. It's going to be a thing of beauty. Okay, let's start getting into animals. First off, dead fish polo.
I saw that.
Not what you think.
No, it's not what you think. But it's interesting. This sounds like a fun game to play.
Get a dead fish.
I imagine originally it was probably actually used dead fish and throw them at your buddies, but they do a much more humane way to play it nowadays.
Yes. Combining sponges, pool noodles, and canoes. Dead Fish Polo is a game community members take part in at Lake Winona, Minnesota. The game, which has no real fish, okay, I'm out, is intended to help people enjoy the great outdoors and have fun together. Last week, community members played in their first game of the summer at Lake Lodge. With laughs and smiles, they paddled through the lake to get a sponge and try to fling it into the air. The sport does not actually involve deceased fish. Adam Carlson of Sanborn Canoe.
This is a good thing, I guess.
Right? Yeah. It's one of those things, you have to have that little disclaimer.
Yeah.
Right? No fish were hurt in the playing of this game. Rather, players' goal is to pick a large waterlogged sponge, the so-called dead fish, out of the water with their paddle and throw it using the paddle towards another canoe. He says if the sponge lands in the other boat, the player who threw it gets a point. Players can set the number of points needed to win. For a competitive game, it's best to have it about 4 or 5 boats of players. So you get like 5 boats out there and everybody's trying to throw this dead fish with their paddle. I could go for that. It's almost like lacrosse on water. The game brings community members together to appreciate nature and spend time with one another. One of our main missions at Sanborn Canoe Company is to provide that invitation to the outdoors, Carlson says. All of us at the shop, we remember our first time going out canoeing or camping, and it was always under the wing of someone in our family or a friend. And so with that sparking our love of it, we want to be passing that forward. Carter King of Sanborn agrees that the activity gives people the opportunity to have fun with one another and enjoying the outside. A lot of times I've played, it's been with people I know and then people I don't know as well. So it's cool getting to just meet more people who are also canoeists. That sounds like the old camping we used to do. The family campgrounds we used to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Because now when you go to these campgrounds, a lot of them are like, oh, that's the family next door. That's the other family over there. Never the twain
You
shall
ignore
meet.
everybody. Yeah.
You ignore everybody. But when we were growing up, you go to these camp things and people, everybody would be in the water, running and screaming, whatever, having fun.
I remember going camping with mom and dad, and we'd see kids next door, and we'd disappear for the day with the other kids next door and go off doing whatever, hunting down frogs. And that was a long time ago. People don't do that kind of thing anymore.
Yeah, it's not as a big thing anymore. Everybody sort of keeps to themselves. And, we're going family camping. Okay, everybody, as a family, we're going to go do a hike now or a canoe.
Don't talk to the neighbors. They're weird.
Yeah. Hey, them weirdos over there. Those are the Specht family over there.
Exactly. We are weird.
A bunch of weirdos. Jamie Severson played for the first time at a recent event after hearing about it from her neighbors. I'm definitely wearing a swimming suit next time because I feel that if we start to get more aggressive... Okay, Jamie, tone it down. I'm going in. But it's fun, it's different, it's unique. It was hard to maneuver a little bit, but everyone's having a good time, so it's no pressure. She wants to play again and looks forward to meeting more people and having fun. She's already considering how to best position herself in the canoe and the possibility of practicing with a neighbor on the lake. So somebody's getting competitive. Mm-hmm. In addition to giving community members a chance to spend an enjoyable evening outside on the lake, the game can build up people's canoeing skills. When he was a scout, Carlson said the game was a method for learning paddle strokes and techniques. King agrees, saying it's a pretty unique way to learn paddling skills, and he added that he's learned how not to flip a boat. Well, that's the thing. If you're reaching, you're paddling, then you're reaching too far out, leaning too far out to grab the fish. Chances are.
Exactly.
Or if you're trying to dodge.
You're dodging
it and you flip. So there becomes a skill. So that's you're having fun. You're playing a game, you're meeting people, you're outdoors, and you're learning some canoeing skills.
It'll be a blast.
For Carlson, one fond memory was playing deadfish polo last year at Base Camp, an outdoor recreation festival at Prairie Island Campground. Many children played, and for a number of them, it was the first time they had been in a canoe. So that was really fun to take them out there and experience it for the first time. And really, that's what we're here for. That's what we're trying to do, is get people in boats and enjoy the outdoors. Those interested and are in the area in participating may stop at Lake Lodge on Lake Winona, Minnesota, 6:30 on Wednesdays. So if you want to go flop a dead fish around,
Yeah.
wear a bathing suit and watch out for Jamie. Because she's getting competitive
Yeah.
and aggressive. All right, so we go from dead fish. This one was a head scratcher.
Yeah, I was like, what?
A 6-foot-long, 1.8 meter pet snake went missing on Tofino's Chesterman Beach. Who brings a boa constrictor to the
beach? I know. And it's not like you could put a leash on it or anything, because it doesn't have a head and shoulders, right?
Well, it's got a head.
I know, but you're not going to be able to leash it.
It's one of them there, headless snakes.
The head is the same size as his body, so a leash wouldn't work.
You just slip right off. Yeah. But who brings a snake
I know.
to the beach?
My snake likes the beach.
Well, apparently it has been located, according to the West Vancouver Island-based Coastal Animal Rescue Education Network.
So if you fully do that acronym, which is Coastal Animal Rescue and Education Network.
Karen. The lengthy boa constrictor slithered away from its owners while on the beach. Where's my 6-foot-long snake off? It was here a minute ago.
Yeah.
How do you misplace a boa constrictor? Seriously. The missing snake marked the first time CARE had received a boa-related inquiry in its 13 years of operation, according to co-founder and executive director James Rogers. Most of the time we get calls about dogs and cats out here, or depending on the season, injured bald eagles in the springtime, he says. In an update, CARE said the boa named Bailey had been located and he wasn't far from home.
Do you think it answers to its name? Bailey, come here.
Come here, Bailey. The sneaky snake was found snoozing. Sneaky snake was found snoozing in the depths of his person's kayak.
Oh, so he didn't lose him. He just...
The snake went to get out of the sun in the dude's kayak. Now, first off, what if he chose somebody else's kayak? Could you imagine
I'd freak out.
being at the beach
snake.
and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to go for a kayak now.
Yeah.
So I run out in my kayak.
Slip your feet inside.
And there's this 6-foot-long boa
wrapped around your ankles.
I hope I'm wearing my brown trunks.
They will be brown.
Oh, my God. I'm not getting out of that kayak fast enough. Dude's lucky he went into the... His.
Yeah.
Bailey is 13 years old and is a little small for his age. 6 feet, I don't care. He's a snake. It's not the first time a snake has gone missing on Vancouver Island. 2020, multiple ball pythons went missing in Greater Victoria, with one who went missing twice in the same year.
Oh, sneaky snakes.
Another ball python also went missing out of Oak Bay in 2022. So like I say, who takes snakes to the beach?
I know, right?
And if you do, keep an eye on your snake.
I'm going to take my snake for a walk on the beach.
Right?
Wow.
So you just enjoy the day on the beach.
And it's interesting that he went to Chesterman's Beach on Vancouver Island, and he had his kayak with him, so I assume was he going to take the snake for a paddle?
Or the significant other was there to look after the snake while they were paddling.
Yeah.
After I got out of my kayak and away from the 6-foot beastie. I would have found out who owned them. And when they came up and said, oh, thank God you found them, I would have shoved my paddle so far up.
Why do you have a snake at the beach?
I saw this and I'm thinking, you got to be kidding. But,
interesting. Very interesting.
yeah. Leave your snakes at home. They don't go to the beach.
Yeah, when you're Googling kayak stories and you come up with a snake story,
yeah, you're
that's related to the kayak,
right?
Because our search terms are pretty simple. We're looking for canoe, kayak, paddling, whatever.
Stand-up paddleboarding, rafting.
Yeah, and there's a boa constrictor story. It's because when you start reading this thing, oh, where's the kayak involved? What? Snake?
Like, what 50 thoughts will go through your brain in less than a microsecond when you look down and you see this massive boa constrictor head looking at you like, hey, pal, what you doing? Where are we going?
Exactly. And if you don't know your snakes, you don't know that it's not going to bite or whatever.
Constrict you to death.
I know, right?
Right? Yeah. Wait, you're not my owner. You're panicked. He panics. Yeah. 'Twas hell upon to look. Anyway, so then we go to goats. Washington and Oregon are popular places for vacationing and rafting. River enthusiasts planning trips along the Grande Ronde should pack extra caution with their camping gear this season. An aggressive mountain goat mothers have been spotted in popular recreation areas. According to the Bureau of Land Management of Oregon and Washington, boaters and rafters are encountering hostile female goats with young between Meadow Creek and Alder Creek. The protective mothers use a particular threat to recreationists during the summer camping season. Wildlife officials warn that the animals become especially aggressive when defending their offspring.
Absolutely.
Making it crucial for visitors to avoid setting up camp near areas where goats are present.
Now, are these mountain goats, do they say?
Yeah. The BLM recommends maintaining a distance of at least 50 yards from any mountain goat and keeping dogs on leashes. Campers should also avoid leaving clothing or equipment unattended, as the animals may investigate or damage your gear. Officials advise visitors, and we've talked about this before.
So this is, when I read this, it's like, whoa, what?
We've talked about this. Yeah. Officials advise visitors to urinate in the river or on rocks well away from trails and campsites, as goats are attracted to salt from human waste. And we talked about the mountain trails people were taking, and they were peeing along the trail.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's tons of goats licking the rocks.
Yeah, because you're evacuating salt when you urinate.
Yeah, and they figured out that's what it was. It was all the mountain goats were now conglomerating on these trails, so people couldn't use them because too many people had peed on the trail. World works in funny ways. If approached by a mountain goat, don't hug it. Recreationalists should move away slowly without running. Persistent animals can be deterred by yelling, waving arms or clothing, and throwing rocks. I'm skipping right to the throwing rocks. Hope you don't mind. You can back away. I'm picking up a rock. Female mountain goats, known as nannies, give birth to a single kid. Adult female mountain goats are very protective mothers. This protective behavior can manifest as aggression when defending their young. Females are more likely to become aggressive in order to protect their young, particularly during the vulnerable early weeks of a kid's life. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife asks visitors to report aggressive wildlife encounters.
So if you're tripping in the Oregon-Washington area
and you see, stay away.
Don't just say, oh, look, a goat. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah. And if you're tripping between Meadow Creek and Alder Creek, if you're rafting there, you might not want to hang out there.
Yeah, they have their babies in the spring. Now's a dangerous time.
So dead fish, boa constrictors, aggressive goats, good times had by all.
And we often see, too, like back to the goat thing, is I've seen, and we've talked about longer portages where you could hire out goats for as a pack goat.
I've seen somebody's got one.
So there's a guy who hikes. He hikes with his goats. They carry all of his gear. Mm-hmm. But we've also seen it, or we've discussed the pack goats where, like, some of the longer portages in Algonquin Park, and you can set up a goat post. And
they'll just hang out.
$100. The goats will carry your gear,
right?
They can't carry canoes.
The Dixon Bonfield Portage,
5+ kilometers long.
Just put all your gear on the goats. There's somebody on the other end will take the goats from you at the end.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is carry your boat.
Yeah.
That'd be the money you'd make.
I know. And the goats don't even need to take a cut. You just got to feed them grass.
A multi-dollar conglomeration.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I saw Instagram. There's a guy with a kayak, and he's got a small goat that stands on the front.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's actually going with... he's not doing the portaging or anything. He's just got a small goat that likes to go out
goat
paddling.
Likes to go with them paddling.
Yeah. I've seen guys... There's a couple people with cats.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that too, yeah.
Tons of people with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there's one guy with a snake.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, exactly.
Weirdo. Tulsa. Blah, blah, blah. Tulsa. Living on Tulsa time. A Tulsa tradition is scrapped again. The Great Raft Race is no more again. Organizers announced there will be no race this year or in future years.
It's canceled.
You think this is a bad thing, but they've got a pretty reasonable reason. Initially launched in 1973, the race became a staple of Labor Day, with racers and spectators turning out year after year. The original version ended in 1991 due to logistics and liability concerns. Returned in 2015 and ran for another decade, minus a few years scrapped due to construction. Seth Erkenbeck, the race's modern-day executive director, and others felt Tulsans were too disconnected from the riverfront and saw it as an asset. We really wanted to see the Arkansas River corridor developed and activated, and we wanted water in the river. Organizers say that now that Zinc Lake has developed and Tulsans have more options for outdoor recreation, they are ending the race that helped champion these developments.
They completed what they intended to do and found great success, so don't need it anymore.
Right. I think that our team collectively feels like we've accomplished what we set out to do. There's now an outfitter that is doing kayaking, canoe paddles, that you can rent and float from Sand Springs to Tulsa, same route as the raft race, and that's all we ever really wanted. When we asked him about the future, he replied, "The door is open potentially to do something in the future." He says, "I think we've thrown around the idea of activating the whitewater flume in front of Gathering Place. We did a homemade raft exhibition during the Big Dam party last year, where a handful of homemade rafts went down the Whitewater Park. There's potential to do something in that capacity in the future, but overall, the long 8-mile traditional raft race, we felt like it is the right time to sunset."
Cool.
I was waiting for them to say it's run its course.
I know. They missed the opportunity.
Can we get a rewrite on this? Final event will celebrate the legacy of the Great Raft Race, and details are on the website tulsaraftrace.com.
Very cool.
So, yeah, they brought it back and started getting people out there to enjoy the waterway and do some renovations and some construction and stuff like that. And now that it's all been finished and people are using it, and there's an outfitter there to let people get on the water, then they don't need this anymore.
Very cool.
So good reason. I'm sure there's going to be people saying, well, you should keep it running anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pretty decent reason to cancel it.
Yeah.
Right?
They found great success.
Yeah. The Great Raft Race, no more. So we've discussed things like this before and how we are upset things like this did not exist.
Yes. And we've seen a few where what was it? Scholarships are being presented.
Yeah. Well, there was the scholarship for kayak fishing too.
That's
right?
one. That was
that was one of them too.
Yeah.
Growing up in Missoula, University of Montana alumna Esther Leon Del Sordo spent time casually floating the Blackfoot and Bitterroot rivers, generally in inflatable kayaks, but had never taken a hard-shell kayak down any fast-moving water with rapids. After watching her friends in college kayak and surf through whitewater, she decided she wanted to expand her skills and join them. So she decided to enroll in the kayak class through the University of Montana outdoor program as a junior in 2021, so she could learn important skills like how to roll a boat if she flipped upside down into the water. When I took the class, I got to roll for the first time. That really opened the door for the whole world of whitewater kayaking for me, she says. Once I had that, I was pretty hooked and just wanted to go out and explore. See? You just get that one little bite.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're hooked. She's been active ever since in the local paddling community and has even taught several of her friends how to roll kayaks themselves. Now she's an instructor for kayaking classes on campus, helping new generations of paddlers get into the sport. I don't think I would have gotten into kayaking that quickly if it were not for this class. Located on the Clark Fork River on the edge of the Rattlesnake Wilderness area, University of Montana offers students unparalleled access to explore the natural world around them. However, it can be difficult to know where to begin when learning a new recreational skill like rock climbing, kayaking, cross-country skiing. That's where outdoor program steps in. See, that's where I started my rock climbing and stuff like that with people in college.
Yeah.
Right?
But it wasn't a course. It was just people in college.
But that's, yeah.
But this is neat that they actually have college courses for stuff like this.
Yeah. Elizabeth Frick, Outdoor Program Senior Assistant Director, didn't have access to outdoor recreation growing up, later developed those skills in college and throughout her career. It can be very intimidating to get into it, and a lot of times you'll see a lot of ego with outdoor sports or activities, and I'm not really interested in that at all. For UM's outdoor program, it's more about, are you excited to do it, or are you excited to get other people into it? The focus on eliminating ego and increasing inclusivity is baked into everything the outdoor program does, whether it's skills class or for credit, a backpacking in Glacier National Park, or the freshman wilderness experience where first-year students spend several days backpacking or canoeing prior to the start of the fall semester. Outdoor program also provides students with the necessary equipment for their excursion or class and has gear rentals available. We really want to set people up for success, Frick says. We are excited to teach people, and we welcome anyone that's excited to learn. Making the leap into an activity like whitewater kayaking can be especially difficult. Generally, whitewater kayakers use a spray skirt, a neoprene or nylon device that steals paddler into the boat from prevent it from flooding. Because of the seal and how disoriented it is to be upside down in moving water, it is important for new paddlers to understand how to either roll the boat or exit it underwater, a wet exit, in the event of the kayak flips. In order to learn those important safety skills, the kayaking class first begins in Grizzly Pool on campus. So that's a big thing as people do in pool training,
practice,
especially in the winter.
Yeah,
so that by the time spring rolls around,
they
can get out on the water. Students can develop foundational skills in a controlled setting. Over the course of 3 pool meetings, students learn important skills like how to seal their spray skirts onto the boat, various paddling techniques, how to exit their boat underwater, and both assisted and independent roles. And there are basically 2 to 4 instructors leading the class of 6 to 8 students. That's a good ratio.
It's good in the ratio, yeah.
It's not like we're throwing you in a big piece of plastic and strapping you in and saying, good luck, let's see what you can do.
Good luck!
Says Burke Schrimpser, a kayaking instructor and rising senior at UM majoring in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management. What I like most about these classes is that we're able to get the students comfortable before sending them down the river. where we then say good luck.
Good luck with that.
After the pool, the class takes on moving water for 3 classes. First, the class meets at Chevron Fishing Access Site, 2 miles east of Missoula on the Clark Fork River, where the group learns the maneuvers through an eddy, a current created behind a rock or an obstacle that flows in a circular upstream direction. During this initial river meetup, the class also practices rolling in moving water, as well as how to communicate and move across the river in a group. During the second river day, the group puts in near campus on the Clark Fork River, floats through town, and gets out near the Paddleheads baseball stadium. This float is designed to teach students how to navigate the river and confidently go through some low-class rapids. Finally, the students conclude the class with a longer day floating the river. The spring class typically floats the Blackfoot River east of Missoula. However, if it's too low for the fall semester students, the class will instead head to Alberton Gorge, which is about 45 miles west of town on the Clark Fork River. In either case, students practice longer river floats and how to stay in formation, as well as scout rapids and plan their route through them. I want to start taking this course.
I know, right?
The more you read, you think, this sounds pretty cool.
This is an awesome course.
And you get a college credit for it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right? On the last day of class, we give them information on where to find pool roll sessions at Currents here in Missoula, how to get connected with community floats, where to find their own equipment, how to sign up for private lessons. The past spring semester, Will Foster, a rising senior majoring in wildlife biology, was looking for electives to add to his class schedule and was intrigued by the whitewater kayaking course. Why didn't we have these options? Woodworking 101.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I made a birdhouse.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people doing it when I was on the Lochner River in Idaho last year, and I thought it looked really awesome, Foster says. So I wanted to give that a try. I just signed up for it and didn't know what to expect. Originally from Chicago, Foster has some access to the outdoors through Boy Scouts, and he grew up fishing with his family. Before the class, he'd done his fair share of kayaking on still water and had gone whitewater rafting a few times. But nothing where if you flip over, you're stuck, he says. That was an entirely different thing that I was not used to. I knew that learning to roll would be the biggest challenge for me because just the thought of being underwater, moving downriver while you're stuck in a kayak is pretty frightening.
It is.
And just waiting to whack it off of something. Smacking your skull off a rock. Learning different paddle strokes and other maneuvering techniques in the pool felt a little silly at times, but when it came time to practice on the river, everything started coming together. Over the course of the class, Foster says he successfully rolled the kayak once, but was pretty confident at his wet exit. As long as you can get out. He wants to continue practicing rolling, and once he's mastered that skill, he plans to get a kayak of his own. Ultimately, I'm really glad I decided to sign up for the class. They did a really good job getting us to work together, and by the end of it, we were all good friends. It was just so much fun.
Very cool.
That sounds cool because, A, you're learning your skills, you're meeting people that you can get a group together to paddle, right? Because that's been one of the, that's some of the big things, especially when I was doing the rock climbing. If I didn't have my buddies that were into rock climbing, you're solo climbing. You know how well that ends, right? So to be learning this in a controlled environment by your peers, really, with your peers in boats too, learning it and getting friendly and being able to go out and practice together. And
so there's lots of outdoor ed classes in like high school and so on. There's a lot of programs that are out there for kids of various ages. But what I really like about this, and what I didn't know that I knew that there's we had talked about the guy who got scholarship for kayak fishing and so on. But to have a college university that trains people to do various outdoor ed activities, and you get a scholarship or you get a credit for it. That's fascinating. That there's programs out there like that. I've never heard about stuff like this in Canada.
Well, I just remember in college trying to get, you got to pick 2 electives this semester. And then you're just like, is this all I got to choose from?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Can I take math instead?
Yeah.
Like this is crap. So yeah, I mean, if it was whitewater, can I get 2 credits if I take it again next semester?
Exactly.
Right?
Do it again.
Yeah. Advanced? Does it come in different levels?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, to be able to sign up for an elective like that and get, college credit for it. And it's something that you definitely can use outside of school and after.
Well, with a lot of people, and to take these courses, like you saw, we were just in this article alone, people are taking these classes and they're finding a career choice out of it. They go into like tourism or something along that lines, where these college credits for paddling, for kayaking, for whatever they do, it can become a career choice. And
right.
So it is fascinating. It's to be able to choose. I never thought of. I remember going to high school, then college, and stuff like that. Never occurred to me that I could find a career in outdoor sport and so on. So it's very neat. Very neat.
It wasn't really a played up option.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when we're doing it, it's like, well, you can be in the trades, you can be an auto mechanic, or you can go into computers.
Yeah.
Or you can be an accountant.
Yeah, exactly.
Those seem to be when I was going through to do all that, and it's just like, I don't want to do any of that.
I had limited options, which is why I ended up joining the military out of high school. And then the military put me through college.
Ta-da! That worked out well. Free. And now, what are you doing? You're dodging cormorant crap.
Exactly.
Oh, how far you have fallen.
It stinks. Cormorant crap smells so bad. It smells so bad.
You need to take pictures.
I'll tomorrow I'll get pictures.
Pictures of all the cormorants so that we can post them with this. As per this week's episode. Look. Yeah. And not just your car.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You got anything else?
I do not. I do, but I guess we're saving it for next week.
Yeah, we got a couple things to save for next week. Otherwise, we'll be here for like 5 hours. It's supposed to be nice this weekend, though, I think.
I hope so. I'm going golfing on Saturday.
Oh. Oh, look at you go.
I know.
Are you a good golfer?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I figure I'm gonna. It's going to be a combination of how many balls I find and how many balls I lose.
And if you start taking your shots and you start into double digits, just give a gimme. Once you hit 10 shots, it's a gimme.
It's a charity tournament that I'm going to be in, and it's best ball. So.
Oh, okay. So you're sort of at least get 8s.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, you should have fun.
Yeah, I haven't golfed in 5 years, and I've decided that I'm going to go in cold. I'm not going to swing a club at all, and I'm just going to see how it goes.
Hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, our industry is known for golf. That's where, it used to be. Yeah. That's where everybody went out golfing. You take clients and you take them golfing, right? And there were some guys in the back there in our factory that they're big into golfing.
Oh, yeah?
And it's like, yeah, we're going golfing after work tonight. You want to come? Where are you going? And they'll name some course. It's $150 and okay, I don't play $150 golf. I play $20 night twilight golf, where if we do as many holes as we can before it gets dark, that's the golf I play. I'm probably killing somebody behind me with the golf ball. Yeah, that's the golf I play.
My club flies farther than the ball.
And if you're going out there to be serious when I'm on that course, you're not golfing with me.
Yeah,
right. We did a company tournament years back, and we printed off a target. And the guys that were in front of us, the 4 guys in front of us, we zip tied the target to one of the guys golf bags on the golf cart.
Oh.
We kept taking pot shots at it. That's the golf I like. Full contact golf. One point there's the old what was the one at Church and Bailey golf course? No, I want to say Cedar Brae. It was not Cedar Brae. Anyway, one of the holes goes parallel to the train tracks.
Oh.
So you'll be sitting there and the trains come by and there's boxcar after boxcar. So instead of shooting it down, you just bang it right off a boxcar and down it goes. You know?
we in Port Hope, I played golf there, and the train tracks go right past one of the holes, and so we'd be winging balls at the
trying to do the old trick shots. So bounce it off, hit it at an angle, hit the car, bounce it back onto the fairway.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's the golf I play.
Yes.
Just the adult version of mini golf.
Yes, exactly.
But bigger.
Bank it off the train.
Yes. All right, well, hopefully I'm supposed to be canoeing all weekend, so, yeah.
Excellent.
Aha! I don't know if Miss Moo back there is going to come with me or not, but if so, I'll have her.
Oh, she saw us looking at her.
I know. We'll have your GoPro on, won't we? Yes, we will. Alrighty. If you want to find out more about us, you can find us at paddlingadventuresradio.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can download or stream all our episodes on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Player FM, and all your favorite podcast downloading sites. Or you can just go to the episode page at paddlingadventuresradio.com and you can stream or download all our episodes there. All 487!
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, September we'll be doing 500.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with your friends, family, and fellow paddlers. I want to thank everybody for listening this week. I'm Sean Rowley.
And I'm Jack Specht. We'll see you next time.